Now hear you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Nicole Testa, and we're here with Fran Rabuck, who is going to be giving, I think, our most entertaining emerging technology webinar for this year, and wrap up 2007 with a fun one on toys for techies. When Fran suggested this last week, we thought it was a great idea, but looking at the response we've received from over 40 of our members, one of our largest responses yet, we know that we definitely struck a chord here, and all of you must be late on your shopping. So I think this is going to be a fun one, and for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, the go-to webinar default is that you're all muted because of the number of attendees. So there is on your toolbar a question and answer panel or tab, and if you type a question in there, it'll be sent to me, and periodically Fran will just pause during this presentation, and we can check and see if there's any questions, and we can forward those on to him so he can answer them. Most of you are probably familiar with this technology at this point, but for those of you that aren't, that is how it is done. You also need to dial into the audio. Some of you, it looks like, based on some of the questions I'm getting, don't understand that. So let me introduce Fran. Most of you know Fran. He is with Bentley Systems and is the director of their Real Asset Laboratory. He also leads our Element 4 construction job site team and also our Smart Ships project. So, Fran, are you there?
Fran's not here, but Scrooge Rabuck didn't manage to make it today. But this is Santa Claus.
Fantastic. Well, while you get started, I'm going to respond to these other ones who aren't on the audio.
All right, thanks, little elf Nickette. Anyway, this is Toys for Techies 2007. And just to set some expectations, if you expected to get anything in elements 1 through 9 today or anything of any real value in that area, you might as well just hang up now. Anyway, throughout this presentation, of course, you know that your mileage may vary. Batteries are not included, and assembly is required. Returns will be a pain, and you only have 7 shopping days left. Web links are included throughout the presentation. They're not readable, but they will be clickable once they're posted on the site. So let's get started here. Two of my cool things, I think, that could be in a few stockings here because they're small enough are two of the new sort of ultra PCs, small devices. The Asus Eee, it almost sounds like something from EIEIO, but it is a small PC, $400, and the Google one that you see there is actually the latest version of the Nokia 810, and that device actually has GPS built into it, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It's a great little device. It's meant to be, it runs off of a Linux system, and it's really meant to be sort of sit on the couch and browse and get your email type device. The interesting thing about it too is it really does the browser and some of the capability that's included allows you to actually has a camera built into it that allows you to do Google Talk or Skype through it. So it's a great little device. Another thing, and this solves sort of a problem that many people have. Oftentimes, the best place to, or the worst place, I should say, to use your cell phone is inside your house. You may get only one bar or something like that. As long as you get a signal, you can look into getting the WiX. The WiX is a wireless cell phone extender, $240. And basically, there's a model that will run with most of basically AT&T and Singular and Verizon, almost anything except the Nextel system. So this may solve some of your problems and not force you to go and upgrade to another system if you can't get cell phone coverage in some remote basement area of your home. You want to have cell phone coverage because if you want to call Santa, you got to get in. There's a lot of devices that are out that are large storage devices, Seagate and a lot of Western Digital, a lot of the traditional players. This is a device from Cavalry. It's a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it actually is a RAID drive, so you really get half of that amount. It hooks up through a USB or FireWire, and a great little device. There's also one that's put out by Western Digital. It's a 1 terabyte device that allows you to access remotely the information on that device. So you can store a lot of information. You're going to be taking a lot of pictures and you're doing a lot of videos, and you're going to start to need some backup device for all that great stuff you're capturing. Now, this might not be something you're going to put in your backyard immediately here, but looking towards the summer months, we reminisce, and boy, I sort of miss those old drive-in movies. So what you can do is get this screen and get a projector and create your own drive-in movie in the backyard. This is one model. It's a Disney model. There's several models out there. There's actually a site called Backyard Theater that you can go to, and there's different models. But certainly one way to maybe bring back some of that nostalgia, those old times, and maybe keep the kids quiet for a few moments during those late summer, hot summer months. Let's go retro since we're going back to drive-ins, and if you're looking for a Bluetooth, this is a Bluetooth retro headset off of ThinkGeek. ThinkGeek, great site to find a lot of different gadgets, but this will pair up with your normal cell phone, and instead of looking like a real geek with something hanging out your ear, you can hold this old retro phone and talk through it. So anyway, we by the way, this next one, some of this stuff is available through one of our members at Target, and just give them a little plug there. In the house, you have the IM, which is an instant messaging IM me for the chaty-cathy in the house, and basically it plugs in, and through the PC, you plug in that device, and you can get multiple devices, and within the house you can IM. Not quite sure why you would want to do that within the house, but who knows what girls want to do. I do know what guys want to do, and actually the girls love this too, and it's a Rockband. If you have an Xbox or PS3 or any of the devices, the big boom this year has been the guitar band type thing where you play along and work with a song or two. This is different. Remember the old drum sets you used to get? Well, now you can get an electronic guitar, electronic drum, and a mic, and have the kids form their own band here. A lot of fun, and actually I think it's about $160, and is available, for most of the PlayStations and Xboxes and other devices out there. Here's a nice $10. This is a cell phone charger. It's a 10-in-1 Survivor radio. Basically, you can use this and connect up through your cell phone and charge your cell phone. Great little gift to give, and it sort of cranks and charges itself. Also has an AM, FM radio in it, and an emergency lamp. Solar powered. Now we're wondering what the tech geeks are wearing this holiday season, and one of the top things on the list of a lot of people is the Wi-Fi Detector shirt. You basically wear this shirt, and as you come into range for Wi-Fi, for B&G Wi-Fi signals, your shirt will blink. It's perfect for the geek that's out there constantly looking for the Wi-Fi signals. Of course, for those cold feet, you can get the Star Wars paraphernalia down at the bottom. Nice footwear. No, they don't do anything. They don't find Wi-Fi. You just put them on your feet. However, you can get a belt buckle that has LEDs, and you can put your own words on the LED. It's also a name tag with a marquee type capability on it. So on the Think Geek site, there's a lot of ideas for apparel. Don't just get them the normal shirts and ties. You got to get them the geek stuff, the Wi-Fi detector, the Star Wars Jedi slippers, and the geek belt buckle. Cameras. We got interesting cameras that have come out. Sony is the first one, and I think others have followed up, that have the Smile-Shuttle. And basically, before you take the picture won't take unless you have everybody smiling. Now, that might be a tough thing if you have the bah humbug, because you'll sit there and you won't take any pictures at all. But it's a unique feature here with the Sony, and I expect it to come out with a few others. Another great device is the flip video device. We've all used the cameras with lots of buttons, and we usually start out by getting the most complex ones, and then we find out later we really all want Instamatics. This is the Instamatic video camera that basically you open up, you press, it takes great video, and then you plug it in through a USB port and you download the video and it can go right up automatically onto YouTube. Real simple device. There's a $99 version for 30 minutes and $149 for a 60-minute one. Great for people of all ages, especially the older ones that just have a problem with more than anything than two buttons. Speaking of cameras, this is one of my favorites, the iFi. Basically, it's a combination of an SD memory card, 2 gigabytes, and also digital Wi-Fi. So on the digital Wi-Fi piece, what you do is you take this SD card, and by the way, this is one of the problems that oftentimes I have with Sony. Sony doesn't use SD. Sony uses their own proprietary memory stick to make sure that this does fit in your camera before you buy it. And basically what you do, you put it into your camera, and it will automatically upload to your Wi-Fi home system. And it's available from several stores there, and it is called the iFi. So again, it combines 2 gigabytes of storage, which is quite a bit, and will go a long ways for almost any video, any static camera, and will also automatically then upload. Great little device. Now, here's some fun stuff here that we have that, you might get into the office somewhere. First of all, the Annoyatron. You have that person that you want to annoy. There's that little gadget up at the top, and it emits this random, annoying beep. And basically you hide it since it's very, very small. It almost looks like one of those circuit boards for a Zigbee thing or something. But you hide that somewhere in somebody's office, and it becomes very hard to find and detect. It has random timing, so you can't wait for it to buzz or beep, and it has driven people crazy. One of the old standbys is the TV Be Gone. If you're ever in one of those situations where you're at a bar and you really don't like what's on there, your favorite sports team isn't there, well, TV Be Gone. Bring this out, hit the button, and you can control the TV, turn the sound off, turn it off. And, of course, in the cubicles, the cubicle wars, the hot thing is USB here. Now, this is USB WMD. It's not weapons of mass destruction. It's weapons of much distraction. So this will certainly be distracting a few of the people in the cubes this year as they plug into the USB. By the way, if you go to the Think Geek site, you'll find tons of things that you can plug into your USB. In fact, one of the ones I don't have on here, but I think is useful, is a plug-in small vacuum cleaner. Plug it into your USB port, and you have a few crumbs from your Dunkin' Donuts and coffee in the morning. You just vacuum them right up. On the high side here, we have some interesting things, for controlling the home, and a lot of these are using now some of the stuff we've talked about in wireless and sensors, and coming to market, especially for the home. Control 4 is one. They have not just control of the home in many ways, but they also have control for media systems. A little bit hard to find. You have to find some installers to do some of that, but certainly a good system. In addition to that, you have Eaton systems, which has their home heartbeat. And basically, you can see some of the sensors on the side, reminder sensors, water sensors, etc. You buy the basic kit with a one-key control, and there is some subscription involved to it, so you can control things remotely from the home and turn things on and off. Available at Best Buy, Home Depot, and it is one of the popular mechanics editor's choice. By the way, the other site that's listed there, Smart Home, another great site that they have some products of their own, but they also have a whole selection of gizmos and gadgets that would keep any good techie busy for a while. Some of the games. There's a great laser game, actually. It's sort of a spin-off on some older games, but it actually uses mirrors and shoots a laser and reflects. And the idea is that there's various versions of the different game. The idea is to try and get across or aim or shoot at your different opponents there. Shock tanks, another possible sort of office gift that you might want to give. You and an opponent have shock tanks, and as you shoot your opponent, after 5 hits or so, you destroy them and win the game. But even more fun with this is every time you do get a hit, your opponent is going to get a slight shock on that controller. So this type of stuff is not for kids under 14. In the Cube World, Cube World has been out for a while and had been shown, and I've seen it in some of the malls, Brookstone, etc. But they're adding more cubes. They're even adding a central cube. And the more cubes you add, if you haven't seen this, you have to see this to believe it. It basically, the stick men will interact with each other and go into each other's cubes, and by changing them, they perform all different odd and unusual things that you have to see to believe. Down at the bottom, another great USB device. It's the electronic snowman. And here's a great idea. You get one of these, you plug it in, and you put it right behind maybe one of those train setups that you have, or maybe one of the village setups that you have on a coffee table. And you have your instant sort of Godzilla scenario with your snowmen and your village. Khet, little Khet Elf, do we have any questions, or is everybody just mesmerized?
Mesmerized, Fran. This is great.
Anyway, I'm coming down to some of my last things. The video watch. Yes, it's Dick Tracy time. You can download videos onto this watch. You can also download MP3s and sound files. Reasonably priced, too. It's the alternative to always carrying around your iPod with you. And, of course, you want to be careful this season, and with the alcohol detector, you can test your friends and neighbors after they're ready to leave your house and go home, or even better, hold on to this and test your kids when they come home from those late-night parties out. Books are always on everybody's list. I'm really a big fan of Make Magazine, and if you go to the magazine site, you'll actually find either subscriptions or individual books, and it's really sort of this whole new renaissance of people making things out of just common household items. For instance, using an Altoids tin, they show you how to make a battery recharger for your cell phone. There's a whole slew of things, and it's a great sort of device that. Not a device, it's a magazine, but it comes out quarterly, and even if that youngster does one or two of the projects in each issue, it'll keep them pretty busy, and they'll certainly learn a lot. One of my favorite books that's out, in fact, it's now #1 on the bestseller book. It's Glenn Beck's An Inconvenient Book. Yes, it is a play on Al Gore's inconvenience. But you'll find that as you read this book, he's very serious about many things, but you really can't help but laughing at many of the things that are sprinkled throughout the book. So highly suggest that you check out An Inconvenient Book. As I was reading it, and this happens a lot, so I'll warn you, you'll be sitting there and quietly reading it, and you'll burst out into some chuckle, and people will wonder, what are you laughing at? It's not a comic book. It's pretty serious. It covers a lot of interesting things, and I think it's worth it. That also, by the way, is available from Target. Some iPod add-ons. iPod is still pretty much the dominant player, but there are a lot of small iPod devices that are great for kids. There's a shaker iPod that's out. And when I say iPod, I'm using that like Kleenex. I mean an MP3 player. I don't mean an Apple iPod. And actually this year, the new Zunes have created a lot of new features and are providing a lot of competition now for the Apple world there. Actually, the Zune site has improved a lot. They have a different model. Basically, it's a subscription model. For $15 a month, you get unlimited downloads and unlimited songs, as opposed to paying so much per song. It's also a much better video player because of the screen size and the way it works. Anyway, some of these add-ons, there's a karaoke add-on. There are some great mics. The one on the side there that has like a bar up there is great. The Griffin iTalk attaches down to the bottom, and there is even sort of a lapel-like mic so that you can record people as they are talking. I have a whole list. These are a few of my favorite things. You probably can't read these, but smart home, I had mentioned before. There's a whole index of resources there, DC resources. The Elf Yourself and Scrooge Yourself sites, I really would entice everybody to go to those sites to see some of those. And actually, I'm going to take a look at those in a second here. If you long for some of those things that you see on those late-night TV commercials, you can go and find on the site the As Seen on TV network, all those things that are collected there. Target has a great little top tech toys for kids and electronics. Great place to look at sort of a list of things. One of the other top things I don't have listed here is a giant dinosaur, and it's a robotics type dinosaur. Unfortunately, it seems to be out of stock in a lot of places, hard to get. Information Week has actually done a survey of 1,000 techies to find out what's on their top list this year. And, of course, HD TVs are important. And right at the top there, you can expect HD TVs to continue to go down in price. So if you don't want to buy it now, you can buy it later. And by February of next year, you'll probably be out there buying these to replace your own old TVs or buying boxes for them, because that's the point when the FCC changes over and the old frequencies and channels will no longer be valid, and it might be a good time to get rid of some of those old TVs, and next year will be the big year for buying I think, HD TVs, although this year is working rather well, too. Best Toys site for 2007. There's a long list of toys there and interesting things there. One of my favorite sites is the Think Geek site that has a lot of these really strange and odd USB devices and all different things that you'll find something unique for everybody on that site. One of the things that a lot of people are looking at is replacing potentially their current DVD player with either an HD DVD or a Blu-ray. And my suggestion is wait. In fact, that's pretty much the summary. People were interested in those things in the Information Week survey. However, most people are waiting. The battle will continue. You have content providers on both sides. You have individual providers of the devices on both sides. And last year at CES, actually, they thought they had it figured out, and somebody came out with a box that actually played both HD, DVD, and Blu-ray, which sounds like a great idea until you realize all they've done is doubled the price. But I think that you'll probably see a lot of traction in the HD, DVD, because some of the game systems, especially Xbox there, will have an HD DVD, and of course Sony has Blu-ray in their Sony PlayStation 3. So HD TV, recommendations for buying those things people ask me for, and I think you really got to see them for yourself. It's a very difficult thing. It's also a very expensive item to try and buy on your own right off the network. But certainly the Sharp Aqueous series has gotten a lot of good marks. Some of the Samsung series, and some of the things you want to look at is the number of inputs and outputs that you have on the back, in addition to the contrast ratio. There's not a big difference. Some people will talk about 1080p versus 720p, and if you really look at it, you're not getting that much on a 1080p. So anyway, that's what I have here. Do we have any questions or comments? Nicole?
We have one someone wants to know what you think about the Amazon Kindle.
Oh, yes. The Amazon Kindle, which I don't have on the list here, but certainly what the Kindle is a reader, a book reader device that's built on top of a company called E-Ink. And E-Ink, it's black and white, has created the technology that's used by not just Amazon, but the Kindle, I think, will, especially since it's being sold through Amazon, and subscriptions for the books can be read through that. I think it's probably going to start to take off. I think we're probably in this first generation. First of all, the price it's fairly reasonable. The original Sony one was locked down a lot. I think Amazon has it right. There are also some other models. If you look under E-Ink, there's the iRex, and currently looking at that. You can convert your files over and read PDFs and HTML files, and actually there are some SDKs to do some development stuff on it. So I think the Kindle will be a success over the long run. Now, I do think, though, the prices of the books need to come down a lot, and I think you'll start to see potentially more and more content try to focus on being displayed there. Anything else?
We have someone who wanted to know, what is the company that had the cell phone charger and radio?
It wasn't a company. I think it was on buy.com. I think I have the link there. If I don't have the link, I'll put that link on the page.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations for folks wanting a plasma or LCD television this year?
As I said, the Sharp Aqueous series is getting lots of high marks. It looks really good. I've seen it. And also the Samsung, a lot of the Samsung devices. Now, Sony Bravia is also a good brand. There are a lot of makers, for instance, HP and Best Buy has their own brands and stuff. I tend to stay away from them because I'm not quite sure what's behind the scene. And also they tend to be low-end machines. In other words, they're targeted at a lower price, and you'll typically find that they may lack some features. But basically, most of the HD TV systems that are out there, I think you'll be happy with. Just use your eyes and look at them. Some people have a different perspective on. They want blacker blacks in some devices. But plasma versus LCD probably doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, there are a couple things if you're running video games off of them or something like that. You don't want to get the memory effect.
All right, well, that's it. We've got a lot of compliments.
Okay.
And one individual that wants to make this a Fiatech tradition, and another one that wants to make sure that we can get the presentation on the website so that people can go shopping.
I will do that.
And the like. So thank you very much, Fran. This was great.
Just hold on. Before we leave here, I just want to see if this will load up and how this will run. Nicole, you've seen yourself as a little elf, right?
I have. Is everyone else going to, don't you?
If this runs and loads, I'm trying to load it now.
But I don't think people will get the audio, right?
Well, they would hear it from here.
Unless you put your phone to the speaker.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's coming up. It's asking me to load something else. But I highly encourage you, on the last slide there, the elf yourself, click on that, and you'll see a few of your favorite characters in costume.
Yeah, and if you go, I think you can go to the website, right, and put your own pictures in?
Yes, it's really easy to do, and mail them, around, email them to your friends.
Yeah, if you haven't had time to do holiday cards, it's an easy and quick way to get out emails, and it's hysterical. So, thank you, Fran. Thank you very, very much for putting this all together, and I think we should make this a Fiatech tradition.
And it looks like I went through it so quickly, and next year I'll have to double the prizes. Yeah, but I think I've covered all the hot stuff this year. Forget Wii's, you can't find them anywhere.
All right, well, for those of you still on, we will have our next webinar on January 22nd, and after that we will be doing weekly webinars. I think we'll only have one in January. And thanks to all of you. Happy holidays. Best wishes for the new year, and we'll talk to you all in January. Thanks.